Hi, today I'm going to talk you through some English words which are pronounced differently from how they're spelled because they contain silent letters. I'm so glad you're here today because it means you took time out of your day to work on your English. I'm always happy to hear if you have a word that you find difficult to pronounce. You can just subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments. And in the future, I'll incorporate it into one of my videos so I can help you with your specific pronunciation needs. I'm always explaining to my students how important it is to learn both written and spoken English at the same time. Because English is not a phonetic language, it's really important that you learn how the word is spelled, especially if you need to write to make a good impression. You should have good English spelling. And also to hear how the word is pronounced. And for that reason, every time you look up a new word, I would like you to use a dictionary, maybe an online dictionary that has the option to hear the audio of how the word is pronounced so that you have accurate pronunciation. If you're mainly learning English from books, then I would also suggest listening to podcasts or taking the opportunity to have conversations if it's possible. I have some other videos dedicated to how you can practice your speaking and listening skills, which I will link in the description box so you can check those out if you want more listening and speaking practice and you don't have the opportunity to take a conversation class. English should be fun to learn and can also be free to learn. If you take the time, you just need the motivation. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need any money. I'm very proud of you for being here today. So let's get started. First, we're going to talk about words that contain the silent letter B. So let's have a look. The silent B. Let's look at a few of these. I'll show you the word. You can take a look at the spelling. You may be used to spelling them the way they are spelled in their correct form, or maybe because the B is silent, you leave it out. Let's look at them one by one, and I will say the word so that you can hear that the B is missing, okay? The first word is bomb. To bomb or a bomb. Notice which B is silent. The final B is silent. Bomb. Debt. To have a debt. Limb. So often when B is after an M, it is silent. Limb or lamb. So a limb, my arms and legs are my limbs. A tree also has limbs. Thumb. Yeah, thumb also ends in MB and the B is silent. Crumb. When I eat cake or cookies, it leaves crumbs. Doubt. I have a doubt about English spelling and when letters are silent. To climb. I climbed a tree, I climbed a mountain. The final B is silent and not pronounced. Dumb. Yeah, it means the same as foolish or stupid. Dumb. Dumb has a silent B at the end. Finally, comb. I use a comb to comb my hair. Okay, so all of these words have the silent letter B in them. Lamb. A baby sheep is a lamb. Let's move on to the next set of words. Now we are going to look at the silent letter G. So all of the following words have a G that is not pronounced. To align. So to put things in a line or in order is to align. I have aligned the vocabulary in a row. Campaign. A sign or to sign a piece of paper. And notice the verb to sign has a silent G, but if it's a noun, signature, then you pronounce the G. To resign, so it has the same root word, sign. To assign, I assign homework. Champagne. Foreign, a foreign country or a foreign language. The G is not pronounced. Benign. So if you have a tumor, it can either be malignant, that means it's bad, or benign, harmless. And design. I designed this presentation myself. Design. So moving right along, let's go to the silent GH. I think you're all familiar with this one. In very common words, often the GH is silent. Let's look at them. So a drought is when there is not enough rain or water. Then we can call this natural disaster a drought, when there's not enough water to grow crops or food and people are thirsty. It's a drought. To fight. Bought. The past tense of buy is bought. The past tense of fight is fought. Night. Caught. And the quiz question is, what is caught the past tense of? Good, it's the past tense of catch. Catch, caught. High. So high in the sky. Do not pronounce the GH at the end. And the noun of high is height. The building is high. It has a height of 500 meters. To weigh. I have to weigh myself after my diet. And the noun is weight. What is the weight of your suitcase? Okay, so all of these have something in common, which is the silent GH. You do not pronounce it, but you do spell it. You always spell it with the GH. Let's move on to the next silent letter, which is H. This is very common, especially before a vowel. The first example is ghost. So you just pronounce it as a G at the beginning. There's no difference between the G or the GH. It's ghost. An heir. An heir is someone who inherits something. So you can inherit money, or you can inherit the throne. If you're a prince, maybe when your father, the king, dies, then you inherit the throne. You are an heir to the throne. Honest. Hour. I will see you in an hour. Honor. It's an honor to meet you. Notice this is the American spelling. So if I were English, I would spell it with an O-U-R at the end, just so you know there are two correct spellings for that. Honor. Herb. This is also pronounced without an H sound in American English. In British English, they pronounce it herb. In American English, it's herb. Vehicle. A vehicle, a car and a boat and a train, they're all vehicles. And exhibit. I went to a photography exhibit or an art exhibit. Good, so make note of these. You can pause the video if you want to practice again and listen to my pronunciation, that's fine. These all have the silent letter H. So these ones have L missing from their pronunciation. The L, calm. He's a very calm person. Calm. He's not hectic or chaotic, he's calm. Folk, it's the people. Do you like folk music or folk tales? Folk. Talk. May I talk to you for a minute? half. I will see you in half an hour. Salmon, yeah, the type of fish. It's not salmon, it's salmon, salmon. Walk, let's just walk. Would, should, and can you guess the third one? Could. So all of them have a silent L. We do not pronounce the L in any of those words. Moving along to the next one, the silent P. So can you think of any words off the top of your head that have a silent P in them? There are quite a few. Let's look at them. Cupboard. 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 So notice, it looks like it's cupboard, but no, we can't pronounce the P and B right next to each other, so we just say cupboard, cupboard. Pneumonia. The initial P at the beginning is silent. Pneumonia. Psychology. So when you see this beginning PS, then the P is always silent. Psychology. Psychic. If you can read someone's mind, or if you can see the future, then you're psychic. A receipt. If you buy something that is expensive, make sure to get the receipt. You can also call it a bill or an invoice. Psalm. Yeah, this is like a passage in a religious book, can be called a psalm. Good, okay. And psalm is interesting because it has two silent letters. Can you tell which two letters are silent? Psalm. Psalm. That's right. The P is silent and the L. Moving right along. The silent T. A lot of these are French, or adopted from the French language, ballet. If you take out a loan from the bank, if the bank lends you money for an apartment or a house or any kind of real estate, it's called a mortgage. A mortgage. The T is silent, completely silent. Gourmet, another French one, of course, anything related to food or art. A bouquet of flowers. Christmas. So the word Christ is pronounced with the T at the end, but when it's in the middle of the word between these two consonants, it's too difficult to pronounce, so we just say Christmas. A debut. A debut. My ballet debut, the first time I perform. And fasten. Fasten your seatbelt. To whistle. Whistle. And to soften, to make softer. I have to soften the butter before I use it to make my cookies. The king and queen lived in a castle. In a castle. And one you hear probably every day, at least if you watch my videos, listen, listen, listen to the pronunciation. Now for the silent S. Aisle. When you travel by airplane, you have the choice of window seat, middle seat, or aisle seat. I like to sit in the aisle. Debris. After a plane crash, they search for debris, the parts of the airplane scattered around, debris. Island. Hawaii is an island. Don't pronounce the S. Apropos. By the way. The final S is silent. Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. So the name of the state has a silent S at the end. Bourgeois. Bourgeois. Another French one. And that's it for the letter S, the silent letter S. Silent W, words that have a W in them that are not pronounced. Answer. Answer the question. Sword. I challenge you to a fight with a sword. Toward. Yeah, this one is often mispronounced. I hear people say toward or toward. 2 syllables. This has 1 syllable, and you do not pronounce the W. Actually, you don't really pronounce the A either. Toward, toward. Rhymes with board. Wrong, wrong. So when you see W-R, you can pronounce it just like the R. Wrong. Right. I write with my right hand. Very good. Silent W. Now for the silent K. These ones you've probably noticed. When you have KN at the beginning of a word, the K is silent, as in knee. I fell and hurt my knee. Know. I know your name. Knowledge. Knowledge is the noun of to know. Knot. When you tie your shoe, you have to make the knot very tight. Knife. I cut the vegetables with a knife. Good. That's a silent K. Silent D. Handsome. Handsome. My dog, Buddy, is very handsome. Adjective. Adjective. Don't pronounce the D. Adjust. I have to adjust my car seat. Wednesday. 2 syllables. This one has 2 syllables. Wednesday. Silent N. Government. You don't need to try to pronounce the N. You'll just get confused. Government. 3 syllables. Government. Solemn. Solemn is like sad or serious. Solemn. It was a solemn day. Column. In Europe, many of the buildings have columns, marble columns. Dam, dam. Autumn. My favorite season is autumn. A hymn is also a religious song. Very good. So those are the silent N words. Thank you so much for watching my short presentation. I hope that you picked something up. And if any of these words were new for you, I hope that you wrote them down and practice them from time to time so that you can remember the pronunciation rules for the silent letters. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.